welcome. We're at the track covering the Sport of Kings. Coming up, excitement building for the restart of Caymanas Park horse racing in Jamaica. The exploits of top flight Barbadians at Gulfstream Park in Florida and Woodbine in Canada, where Antonio Whitehall leads the Caribbean men hitting the headlines at other racetracks. Plus, we cross the Atlantic for the story of the Irish Guineas Classics at the Curragh. Our first stop, Jamaica,
where a buzz of anticipation has descended on Caymanas Park ahead of a bumper 11-race card Saturday, ending a COVID-19 three-month shutdown that was severe on the industry. Following the government's decision to relax restrictions, the announced June 20 restart is being embraced, even with the industry now having to adapt to a range of sanitation protocols. And so the promoting company Supreme Ventures Racing and Entertainment Limited staged a number of sensitization sessions with stakeholders.
So for the jockeys' room, we had to do a separation. We had to take some of the beds and the benches downstairs. We moved the weighing area out into the front and separate that. So there'll be two areas, upstairs and downstairs, and the female jockey room area, to create that distancing and that separation, to ensure that, you know, we can maintain some social distancing within the confines of that area.
And while financial losses caused by the suspension of racing since the 21st of March have been massive, the SVREL General Manager Lorna Gooden is quick to dispel assertions that this was the main reason behind the decision to charge patrons an admission fee.
It's about crowd control. Based on the protocols that have been approved and put in place, there's a restriction on the numbers of persons that we can admit into the park and into the stands. So the only way that we can control and to just ensure that persons who are here want to be here and can be here is to sell tickets and pre-sell the tickets to the various areas.
Now, with the proceeds generated by off-track betting parlours accounting for approximately 70% of SVREL's revenue, these subsidiaries have been operationalised across the island, with new sanitation protocols also in place ahead of Saturday's resumption.
Social distancing is one thing. Wearing of the mask is very important. Sanitization, the facilities manager is going around and ensuring that we are in keeping with all the stipulations. So we are definitely, and we are reinforcing it, you know. So you'll see some signs reminding patrons, reminding our staff to keep our practices in accordance with those protocols. So I guess we're doing our best to try and get that done.
A big field is in line for Saturday's main event, a 3-year-old and up non-restricted overnight allowance sprint over 5.5 furlongs with a purse of $1 million Jamaican dollars. That's just over US 7,000.
To Florida now, where the Barbadian trainer Sapit Joseph Jr. went an uncharacteristically lengthy 6 race days without a victory at Gulfstream Park, but he would break that winless streak with a victory in Sunday's 4th race.
In the maiden claiming event over a mile, Joseph's entry Super Highway made his winning move coming off the final bend on the jockey Edgar Zaz as an 8-5 second favourite, taking control early in the home stretch.
Super Highway has now made the lead. Voices in the Darkness is back to second. Super Highway wanders a bit with the lead. Zaya straightens him up and maintains control. Voices in the Darkness trying to mount another effort. Bella's Fella is third. Coming home for the wire, Super Highway, a wrapped-up winner.
Peter Yalo on commentary. Super Highway on top by 2 1/4 lengths, beating the favourite Voices in the Dark, and gives the Barbadian trainer his 23rd win of the Gulfstream Park Spring Summer Meet. 1 minute 36.81 seconds, the winning time for the 1-mile trip.
Canada's Woodbine has now had its second weekend of racing for the 2020 season, and after 3 blank race days for Patrick Husbands, the Barbadian rebounded with 5 weekend wins at the Toronto racetrack.
None more impressive than Saturday's score aboard the 7-2 bet, Piper's Legacy, when he had to hit the brakes twice in traffic at key moments with a 6-year-old mare en route to a complicated win called by Bob Geller.
They turn, it's Monastery Lane at the back with Rexdale up the top of the stretch and Short Summer Dress in front of Misbehave. Then Miss Bob at American Tap, and down the outside I'll Take the Gold as Misbehave is coming out in front on the outside of Short Summer Dress. Miss Bobbit in third and American Tap, and Piper's Legacy up the inside. Misbehave just in front of Short Summer Dress. American Tap coming after them. Out in front Misbehave, battling away Short Summer Dress. On the outside American Tap, and then Piper's Legacy, who's flying. And it's a photo between Misbehave and a last lunge by Piper's Legacy.
So a bit of a tug here from Husbands because he's moving more quickly than the cluster of horses in front of him. Then mid-stretch, he's actually screaming here at jockey Daisuke Fukumoto to take care of his mount, Miss Bobbit, darting sharply across into husbands. After sorting that out, Canada's 8-time Jockey of the Year would leave the rail and angle his mount for an opening in the 3-path, and the rest is history. Another masterclass from the Barbadian, who is nearing 3,400 career wins now in North America, more than any other rider from the English-speaking Caribbean. Piper's Legacy by a head as the 7-2 bet, topping Misbehave and the 3-1 favourite American Tap, stopping the clock at 1:14.59 for 6.5 furlongs on turf. One of 2 wins for husbands on Saturday, and the 47-year-old had 3 wins on Sunday's card.
Still in Canada, Assiniboia Downs in Winnipeg, where Caribbean jockeys have emerged champion the past 6 years in a row. The Barbadian Antonio Whitehall has had a huge week.
In Tuesday evening Chantilly Stakes for 3-year-old fillies, Whitehall, the Assiniboia Downs champion jockey in 2018, before losing his crown last year to Jamaican Richard Mears. Approaching the home turn, Whitehall, unfancied here in yellow silks, was 3rd on the inside aboard the 4-horse, Kick a Little Booty, and gaining on the leaders.
With someone else, still the leader of the half, 45-4. Someone else is gonna try and steal it in the Chantilly. Kick a Little Booty on the outside has her measured. Kick a Little Booty.
The 1-2 favourite Music at Work off the board in 4th, and under a confident ride from leading jockey Whitehall, Kick a Little Booty upsets at 16-1 for the win by a widening length and 3/4 in the Chantilly, clocking 1:12.60. Someone else at 2-1 second. Whitehall would score a double Wednesday night, including the Free Press Stakes, and another upset win aboard the 6-1 bet Deep Explorer. The Barbadian now on 19 victories, enjoying a 6-win lead atop the Assiniboia Downs jockeys table. Jamaican Neville Stevenson in 3rd, and TNT Stanley Chady also currently holding top 5 spots.
Before we go, let's check in on the Irish 1,000 and 2,000 guineas at the Curragh racetrack.
With a purse of €250,000 at stake, 11 faced the starter on Friday evening, and there was no stopping the 2-1 favourite Siskin, with Colin Keane riding, but he did have to emerge from a very tight spot behind a cluster of horses to get his winning run going.
There's no room for Siskin, and it's Sina1 with on the near side Lope Fernandez. Now Siskin is out. It's Lope Fernandez. Siskin's trying to come over on the far side. It's Sina1. Lope Fernandez on the far side. Siskin's challenging on the near side. There's little between them. They go away from the rest. It's Siskin getting the upper hand on the near side, and he's beginning to lengthen. He was good over 6. He's the best of the mile. Siskin has won the Guineas.
Khalid Abdullah Siskin does it as the 2-1 favourite by a length and 3/4 over the 14-1 bet Vatican City. Trainer Ger Lands and jockey Colin Keane enjoying their first ever classic triumph. The undefeated Siskin clocks 1:38.49 over the 1-mile trip. 24 hours later, displaying telling tactical speed, Aidan O'Brien's Peaceful was always on the front end of the 1-mile trip, and jockey Shamie Heffernan in the blue and yellow cap was unstoppable as his fillies surged forward in the run to the finish, repelling with authority the late race challenges from Fancy Blue and So Wonderful. A 9th Irish 1,000 Guineas win this for Aidan O'Brien. He also gets 3rd with So Wonderful. His 21-year-old son, Donica O'Brien, in his first year as a trainer, gets 2nd with a 12-1 shot. Fancy Blue, 1:38.19 the winning time for the 1-mile trip.
We've been at the track covering top stories and exciting races in the Sport of Kings. Our next edition to include the Belmont Stakes from New York and the Royal Ascot Meet in England. So check us out then.